New York is drastically losing residents every day due to insane taxes. Nothing symbolizes the American dream like New York City, with its high-rise buildings, fast-paced life, and amazing landmarks. I mean, who wouldn't want to live in the Big Apple? Well, most New Yorkers. In fact, every day as many as 267 residents are packing up and leaving the city. That's because New York City taxes have become a nightmare for a lot of its residents. So if you're one of the millions of people who dreamed of living in the Big Apple, watch until the end of this video to know if New York City is really worth the move. Are you ready? Because today we will talk about how New York is drastically losing residents every day due to insane taxes. Before that, please do us a favor, like, subscribe, and hit that bell button so we can keep you updated on the latest financial tips and trends. Tax for the rich. According to census data, Bloomberg analyzed that the Big Apple is losing more people than any other city in the United States. Due to the high crime rate, high cost of living, and a decline in the overall quality of life, and of course, New York City's infamous tax cuts, you will see millions, yes, millions of people moving away from NYC. If you're going to take a look at it, there is a huge imbalance between people that are moving to and moving from NYC. To point this out, in 2018, 61.5% of New Yorkers left the state. On the other hand, only 38.5% of people moved in. So, how many people have left? Well, from 2010 to the middle of 2017, New York's net migration hit more than 1 million people. That's more people than any other state. And no, we're not talking about retirees moving away from the hustle and bustle of city life. While not all of those who are leaving New York City are rich, a lot of them are. And we're talking about wealthy people, big business, and the high net worth individuals. To add to that, Investor Business Daily describes New York City's tax rates as punitive. So, how bad is it? Only 1% of taxpayers make up 46% of all the income taxes. Because of these high tax rates, wealthy individuals are simply getting tired paying most of their money to the state. Currently, New York City is home to the highest tax burden in the country. Imagine this. Every year, its residents have to pay an average of 12.7% of their annual income. While a lot of activists lobby for wealthy people to have to pay higher taxes, it can be disastrous for business. You see, big businesses are leaving the city for tax havens like Florida and Texas. The problem is, the pattern doesn't end in New York. States who share similar high tax rates like California and Illinois are also seeing a lot of people moving out. While New York is losing millions, other states are welcoming those millions in. For example, the 5 low-tax states of Texas, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Washington have seen growth in terms of the number of people moving in. It's really simple. High taxes drive people out, lower taxes invites them in. The problem is that if New York fails to attract more people, it will eventually lead to fiscal insolvency. It happens when people who pay a huge chunk of the state's bill move away. Then, the bill doesn't get paid, and we're already seeing the red flags. In 2019, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo claimed that New York City was $2.3 billion below the state's expected earnings. While that money might give any governor a heart attack, it's really pretty small compared to the $176 billion that New York plans to spend in 2020. To sum it up, the budget deficit is just 3%, but the budget decline is just starting. Even Cuomo understands how important rich people are for New York City. In a previous statement, the governor claimed that he really doesn't believe in raising the taxes for wealthier people, and fears that they too might pack up and leave. What does it mean for regular people? Not all those who move away come from the wealthy 1% of the population. In a study by United Van Lines, 41% of those who left earned $150,000 or more. Then there's the 8.4% who earn less than $50,000. While the policies might be a tad too heavy for the rich, it becomes even more problematic for regular residents. In a study by Wallet Hub, New York's tax rates can hit as much as 13.74%. Now, if you're going to apply this to a regular U.S. household, it would cost them an annual bill of $7,978. If you're going to put that 13.74% in a medium New York household, adjustments being made due to cost of living, you would receive an annual bill of over $10,000. We also mentioned the high cost of living, and that's a really big problem in New York City. If you're going to rank tax rates in all 50 US states and the District of Columbia, only 3 states have a higher effective tax rate. Those are Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and Illinois. Despite this, New York will still have the highest tax rates if you include the cost of living. The difference between a New York and a regular US household when it comes to effective income would go down $1,346. In fact, living in Manhattan can cost you 140% more than the national average. So, it's no surprise that it is considered the most expensive city in the United States. And you can forget about being a homeowner in New York City. That's because of their insane rents. Get this, a 1-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn or Manhattan can cost you nearly $3,000 a month. You will also have to deal with strict building regulations, which might set you back a couple of $100s. Plus, if you're not included in the city's rent control, you're more than likely going to be spending more. Lower quality of living. Unfortunately, high tax rates and a high cost of living does not mean having a better quality of life. If you don't have the money to enroll your kids in private schools, the chances are they will end up in an already failing public school system. More than half of public school students in the Bronx district fail an average of 9 math tests a year. Unless you're super smart, only 2% of the students achieve really high scores. Too bad you don't have many options either, as 120 public schools in New York City were stamped with the sign "In need of improvement." Violent crimes are also on the rise after the city achieved decades of low crime rates. In just 1 year, local murder rates had ballooned to 55% higher than the previous year. The report of rapes has also increased. Anti-police sentiments have also spiked as attacks against NYPD cops continues to rise. With high tax rates and a staggering cost of living, as well as a poor quality of life, it's no question why people are moving out of the Big Apple. So, would you still move to New York? Tell us in the comments below.